of you in the another session of transportation engineering. As you all know that we have already discussed the first segment, that is the introduction part. Then we have discussed about the highway transportation. Then we have discussed about the railway transportation, and now we are going towards our fourth segment, that is the water transportation. So I am going to cover the topics of components of harbor. See, this is one of the most important segment. It is so in this session we are going to cover the topics related to components of harbor. So let us discuss about harbor and ports. What is harbor actually? So let me tell you that harbor is the sheltered area. It is used for loading and unloading of cargoes. It is the area where the vessels are built, they get repaired and they are launched. And major, if we talk about the major component, then the harbors are always maintained and they are always occupied, they are always operated by central government. Now, the harbor is a partly enclosed area. It is situated in the water. It provides safe and suitable accommodation for various kind of vessels, means various kind of ships, various kind of water equipments which require supplies, repairs, loading and unloading of cargoes. And if we discuss about ports, then let me tell you that port is a kind of harbor. Port is a kind of harbor where the marine terminal facilities are provided. Various kind of facilities are provided, such as piers and valves are provided, and they are provided in order to provide the berthing of the ships. When the ships enter in the water area, a particular area is required which will help them to get berth while loading and unloading operations are going on. So piers and valves are provided. Transit stations and other storage areas are also provided where the ships may discharge the incoming cargo, where they can be repaired, and where the additional goods or the cargoes can store for the longer period of time. So harbor is a sheltered area. It is used for loading and unloading of cargoes. Vessels are built, they can be repaired and they can be launched. And if we talk about port, then port is a kind of harbor. Port is usually served by good communication systems such as railroads are provided. Sometimes highways and inland waterways are also provided. If we talk about port, then port is the combination of harbor, storage facility, communication facility, and other terminal facilities. And usually the ports are maintained by, they are operated by state governments, such as Mundra Port. So this is about harbor and port. Harbor is a sheltered area, and port is a kind of harbor where the communication facilities are provided, storage facilities are also provided. This is how usually a harbor looks like. These are the various components of harbor, such as entrance channel, anchorage area, turning basin, various kind of port facilities, breakwater, jetties, small boat harbors are there. So this is how it looks like. If we discuss about the harbor components in detail, then there are various kind of segments such as reservoirs, then jetty for the oil tankers, then wet docks, then dry docks, then fishing port, then liners are there, then shipping canals are there, then canal locks are there, then transit stations are there, then ferry is there. So these are various kind of components, and the availability and the existence of these components varies according to the type of harbor which is provided. If we discuss about the detail, then the first part is about understanding the major components of harbor. So entrance channels, then breakwater, then turning basin, then shelter basin, then piers, then valves, then quay walls, then dry docks, then wet docks, jetties. These are the various kind of components which play an important role whenever a harbor is constructed. Let us discuss all the segments one by one. Let us discuss first about the entrance channel. See, as the name suggests, you can observe in this particular slide that this is the entrance channel. See, this is the entrance channel. Entrance channel is the area from which the ship can enter in the harbor. It should have sufficient width, such as 100 meter for small harbor, 100 to 160 meters for medium harbor, and 162 to 60 meters for large harbor. They are used to get entered. Ships can enter in the harbor area through this particular channel. Then if we discuss about the breakwater, then this is how it looks like. This is the structure of breakwater. Now this particular breakwater, it is the protective barrier. It is made up of various materials such as it is made up of concrete, it is made up of vertical wall, then sometimes it is made up of coarse rubble masonry, and it is constructed from the shore towards the sea. Why? To enclose the whole harbor area, to protect it from various kind of natural calamities. It is having various functions such as it breaks the momentum of the water by means of wave breaker. You can observe in this particular photo that when the waves are entering in the area in this direction, the breakwater will help breaking the momentum of the water. Then generally they are constructed of masonry as I already narrated, where the wave action is the most severe. Sometimes the inner side of the breakwater is also constructed with the help of quay, due to which the cargo handling can be used. It is also called as mole. These are certain other photos of breakwater. Now let us discuss about the needs of breakwater. They are used to provide shelter from the waves, used to protect the particular harbor area from the wave action. Through this shelter, to manipulate this lateral or sand transport condition, and it is used to trap some particular kind of waves and to provide the anchorage, to provide the protection to the entrance area. There are total three major categories according to functional requirements, such as rubble mount breakwater, then vertical wall breakwater, and then floating breakwater. If we discuss about them, then the first is about rubber mount type. This is how it looks like. See, this is rubber mount type of breakwater. If we discuss about types of breakwater, then the particular breakwater is constructed with the help of heterogeneous materials. Heterogeneous means the material which can be identified individually. So they can be constructed with the help of heterogeneous assemblage of natural rubble or understone. We are discussing about the rubble mount type. When the water depths are quite large, this kind of breakwater can turn out as the uneconomical due to high volume of rocks are required if the water depth is quite high. They can be built up to the water depth of 50 meters. They are not suitable when the space is a problem. See, they cannot be used when the space is the problem. And this type of breakwaters dissipate the incident wave energy by forcing them to break on a slope, and then they do not produce the appreciable reflection. So this is about the rubble mount type. This is how the structure of rubble mount breakwater looks like. It is having three layers. Class 3 as the core layer, which is having quarry waste. Then the intermediate layer, which is used to protect the slope, and then the upper layer, that is called as the top core layer. Sometimes it is also called as class A layer, which is made up of rubble stones, which is having 4 to 5 tons of weight. So this is how the rubble mound breakwater looks like. Now if we discuss about the vertical wall type, then it looks like this. It is having various kind of elements such as high tide sea phase, low tide sea phase, masonry structure is there, then seabed is provided, and this is how it looks like. This is the vertical wall type. Now, the breakwater which is formed by the construction in a regular and systematic manner of the vertical wall, which may be of masonry or concrete blocks or any mass concreting elements, which is having the vertical face and seaward face. That kind of particular breakwater is called as vertical wall type of breakwater. It reflects the incident waves without dissipating much wave energy, which was the minus point in the first type, in the rock mount. What was happening in that particular type of breakwater is that much of the wave energy was dissipating. And in this, the wave energy is not getting dissipated on higher amount. So normally this is constructed in various kind of locations where the depth of the sea is greater than twice the designed wave height. So this is the technical detail. It is having various types such as concrete block, gravity wall, then masonry, then concrete caissons, then rock fill sheet piles, then rock fill timber cries. These are the various kind of vertical wall types. Then if we discuss about composite, then you can observe that it is the combination of vertical wall and rubble mount. This is how it looks like. So as the name suggests, it is having a rubble base, it is having vertical type on the upper side, it is the combination of both type of breakwaters. It is recommended where the water depth is quite great and foundation is quite weak because the rubber stone or rubble stone masonry will help maintaining the stability of the foundation. If the water depth is more than 30 meters, then this is adopted on major criteria. Now let us discuss about the rubber mount type and vertical type. See, in rubber mount type, the wave energy is dissipated. In vertical, it is not dissipated. Mount type is having large entrance. It is having short or small, narrower entrance. The mount type requires regular maintenance and it is not constructed systematically or in linear direction. In vertical type, the systematic construction is there, so there is no need of maintenance. The mount type can be constructed on any type of practical foundation, but if you are talking about vertical wall, which is constructed in systematic manner, then it requires a firm foundation. It is recommended where the plenty of rocks are available. The vertical wall type is recommended where there is a shortage of rocks is available. While we are constructing the rubber mount type, we do not need any kind of skilled laborers. So unskilled laborers may require. But in case of vertical wall type, which is the systematic construction, the skilled laborers are required. If we discuss about mount type, then they are constructed on the natural rocks, concrete blocks, special concrete blocks, or tribars. And if we discuss about vertical wall type, then they can be constructed of concrete blocks, gravity walls, stone masonry, concrete caissons, etc. So this is the difference between mount type and vertical wall type. Now the another particular part is turning basin. See, you can observe this. This is the turning basin. It is the water area which is required for maneuvering the ships to change the direction of the ships once the ships gets entered in the harbor. It is large enough to permit the free turning. This should be large enough. Then the another component is called as wharf or the plural is called as valves. It is the area which is required for maneuvering the ships after entering. It should also have the higher criteria. It looks like this. See, the landing places or platforms. See, the landing places or platforms which are built near the shore for the vessels for berthing are known as valves. Means the valve affords a working platform alongside the ship which can be seen over here. See, it can be seen over here in the continuity of the shore. The level of the valve should be above the high water level. It can be seen over here. But at the same time, it should be economical also and it should be provided in such a manner that the load of the vessel can be compensated. There are two types of valves, open construction and solid construction. This is how it looks like from the side. This is the aerial view. See, then another component is quay walls. If we discuss about quay walls, then they looks like this. These are the quay walls. It is also called as one of the docks which is provided parallel to the shore, which is the solid structure that also provides berthing on one side and it retains the earth on another side. Functions includes it can protect the embankment, it can protect the seashore, it can provide berthing of the ships on the seaside, it can support the platform. Whenever we are designing quay walls, we should keep consideration of a particular points such as the weight of wall should be considered, then the surcharge over wall should be considered, the load which is going to act on the wall should be considered, the rear earth pressure should be considered, live loads which are variable, it should be considered in form of cranes and vehicles. The pressure which is going to be created on the wall due to water should also be also considered. And these are the elements of quay walls. This is the earthen fill, this is the paved platform, and this is the water level. And this is the quay wall. This is quay wall. This is how it looks like. Now if we discuss about jetties, then jetties act same as valves. They are used for the loading and unloading of cargoes. They are usually made from the shore towards the seawater to prevent the silting and dredging and to allow the free flow of tidal currents. This is how they are provided. So this is all about the harbor components. In next session, we'll discuss about the classification of harbor and the remaining topics of water transportation. I hope you have gone through the concept thoroughly. Thank you so much.